Is blindness a barrier? No.
Is deafness a barrier? No.
Are mobility, learning, cognitive disabilities, speech impairments and others, or even a combination of them, barriers? No way. Lack of accessibility is.
Welcome to Web Accessibility for All.
Follow the blind. This journey starts now.
Hey, my friend, welcome back to Web Accessibility for All, the weekly podcast where we dive deep into everything about web accessibility. A few days ago, I was scrolling through my LinkedIn feed when I came across a post that caught my eye, and for good reason, because it was about something that is often seen as almost an enemy of every development team, or even worse, as a roadblock that prevents progress on new features, as something that companies' lawyers may be better off dealing with. The title of the post simply took my breath away.
I want to bring your attention to something. Accessibility consulting is broken.
Well, that was just an icebreaker, my friend. In reality, this title comes from a LinkedIn post created by one of the people I admire the most in this field, from whom I've learned something new since I also decided to get involved into web accessibility. His name, Carl Gross, an absolute authority in this field. Please follow his work in LinkedIn. So this got me thinking that there are a lot of misconceptions about accessibility audits, and I want to talk to developers, testers, UX designers, and even their managers to help clear things up. So if you are interested in learning more about accessibility audits, come along with me on this journey.
What is an accessibility audit?
Yes, that's the main question. What exactly is an accessibility audit? Well, basically, it's a detailed checkup for your digital product, like your website or mobile app or software, to see if it meets accessibility standards.
So, what is an accessibility audit for?
The main goal of an accessibility audit is to find and fix any barriers that people with disabilities might face when using your product. These barriers could be anything from missing alt text on images to more complex issues like poor keyboard navigation or lack of screen reader support. By doing an audit, you're making sure your product is usable by everyone, which is not only the right thing to do, but also good for business.
Types of accessibility audits.
There are a few different types of accessibility audits you can choose from, depending on what you need, and especially the size of your product and team, its audience, and of course, the available budget. So they are:
1. Automated audits.
these use software tools to quickly scan your app for common accessibility issues. They are fast and cover a lot of ground, but may miss some subtle problems.
2. Manual audits.
This one involves a human auditor who goes through your site or app to catch issues that automated tools may miss. This often includes testing with screen readers and other assistive technologies. Sure, this person may require some level of expertise on using the app to understand the main flows of interaction, just like a real user of your product.
3. User testing.
This is where actual users with disabilities test your product. This can give you invaluable insights because they can point out real-world issues that might not be obvious in automated and manual audits.
4. Hybrid audits.
This is a combination of an automated and manual audit to ensure a comprehensive evaluation is the best choice for companies dealing with big projects or large code bases.
Defining the scope.
Defining the scope of an audit is super important. So you need to define which parts of your digital product you want to test. This could be the whole website and a specific section or even a particular user journey. And also you need to decide which platforms and devices you want to run your audit on. For instance, you could audit your web application on Safari running on an iPhone device and in Chrome running on a desktop computer. Clearly, defining the scope helps in setting expectations and ensuring the audit is manageable and focused.
Cost of accessibility audits.
The cost of accessibility audits can vary widely depending on the scope and the depth of the audit. Automated audits can be less expensive, while comprehensive manual audits and user testing can be more costly. However, you should think about this cost as an investment, because the benefit of making your product really accessible far outweigh the initial expenditure.
Why should I run an accessibility audit on my digital product?
You may be wondering,
Why should I run an accessibility audit on my digital product?
well, there are several reasons. Whether or not to do an accessibility audit usually depends on how far along the development team is on a digital product, and sometimes it also depends on how much the stakeholders care about accessibility. Sometimes the stakeholders say,
Well, if someone sues us, we'll just let our lawyers handle it.
but needless to say, not only that is a bad idea ethically, it is also a big mistake. Anyway, here goes a list of reasons to pay attention to.
1. Legal compliance.
Many places have laws requiring digital accessibility, and not following them can result in legal actions.
2. Market expansion.
Making your product accessible opens it up to a broader audience.
3. User experience.
Accessibility improvements often enhance the overall user experience for everyone.
4. Brand reputation.
Being known for accessibility can boost your brand reputation and customer loyalty.
Maximizing the benefits of an accessibility audit.
So here's the thing about accessibility audits. If you are doing it for just check a box and comply with some standards, you are not really doing them right, because you are taking a snapshot of your product on a specific point in time, and that is not enough. See, your product is actually a living thing. It is changing and evolving all the time. We need to build a culture of accessibility into our development process. And one of the best ways to do that is to train our teams on accessibility. Because a team trained on accessibility uses an audit as a guide to progressively iterate towards more inclusive user experiences. Oh, and of course, when you decided to run an audit and you are meeting with the people who are going to do it, just do it with your whole team, okay? If you are the one making the decision, don't act as a middleman between auditors and your team. Instead, act as a facilitator to ensure a smooth communication between parties. And of course, committing to taking action is the second part of the story. Let the team discuss the points found, determine the most important bugs, the easiest and quickest to solve, the ones that require more investigation or research, and also ones that require clarification from the auditors.
Importance of accessibility training.
The audit is not a performance evaluation of the team. It is an evaluation of the accessibility of a product. If you are a part of the team, don't act in a defensive way. Keep your mind open, exchange ideas, points of view, talk and talk more, ask questions again. Accessibility training, like I said before, is crucial for everyone on the team. I mean everyone, because training helps to understand the importance of accessibility and equip us with the skills to implement it effectively. When a team is knowledgeable about the importance of accessibility, they are more likely to integrate it into their work naturally, leading to better outcomes.
Risks of not running an accessibility audit.
Ignoring accessibility can have significant risks.
1. Legal consequences.
You could face lawsuits and fines for not complying with accessibility laws.
2. Exclusion of users.
You risk excluding a significant portion of your potential use space.
3. Negative publicity.
Poor accessibility can lead to negative reviews and damage your brand reputation.
Benefits of running an accessibility audit.
To wrap up, let's summarize the benefits of running an accessibility audit. 1. Accessibility improvements. 2. Avoid legal issues by meeting accessibility standards. 3. Make your product usable by more people. 4. Demonstrate your commitment to inclusivity and social responsibility. And 5. Stay ahead of accessibility trends for future regulations and future user expectations. Thanks for tuning in to Web Accessibility for All. I hope this episode has given you a clearer understanding of accessibility audits and their importance. Until next time, keep making the web a more inclusive space. See you next time, my friend. Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us today. Subscribe for a new challenge next week. And don't be shy. Leave us a review or ask your accessibility questions online. See you next week for another episode of Web Accessibility for All.